ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Out of 6 chapters of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, first 2 chapters are called Madhukanda. These 2 are called Madhukanda. This Madhukanda is what is called as Upadesha Pradhana. Upadesha Pradhana, it consists of mainly the teaching of the Shruti. There is no much reasoning, yukti, or what is called as upapatti is not there. The 3rd and the 4th chapters of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad are called Yajnavalkya Kanda or Muni Kanda. First is Madhukanda, then the subsequent 3 and 4 are called Yajnavalkya Kanda or Muni Kanda. Teaching here is mainly Upapatti Pradhana. The argument, reasoning has got prominence in these 2 chapters, 3 and 4, called Yajnavalkya Kanda or Muni Kanda. The remaining chapters of Brihadaranyaka, 5 and 6, are called as Khila Kanda. They are called as Khila Kanda, but Vidyaranya Muni in this Anubhuti Prakasha doesn't explain these last 2 chapters. So, 5th and 6th he doesn't explain. So now, the remaining 2 chapters will deal with Yajnavalkya Kanda or Muni Kanda. Janaka, King Janaka, had performed a big yajna. What is the definition or meaning of big yajna? What do you mean by big yajna? Bahu dakshina yajna. Okay. Yajna wherein lot of dakshinas are given. There is one big is there, Vishwajit Yaga. Vishwajit Yaga means the person has to become pauper only. The monarch gives up everything, nothing is left, no throne, no, not even a single gram of gold in the palace, everything is given. That is Vishwajit Yaga. This was not Vishwajit Yaga, but Bahudakshina Yajna. Yajna sacrifice, wherein lots of dakshinas were given. And Janaka was the one who had the interest in Vedanta, Adhyatma Vidya, and always in these royal courts, discussions used to take place. Here, he wanted to know, among all those assembled Mahatmas, great sages, who is the topmost, who is the Brahmanishtaha. So, who excels the rest? So that he wanted to know. So that among the Vidwans, so who is the Brahmanishta? That is what he wanted to know. So therefore, he announced a prize. A prize he announced. What is the prize? So, whoever proves himself to be the greatest will get this prize. What is that prize? 1,000 cows. Those days, okay? 1,000 cows, not simply cows. 1,000 cows with 10 padas of gold decked to the horn. Means, for in each horn, 5 padas of gold will be tied up. 1,000 cows with it. You know how much is pada? 1 pada is 3 by 4th tola or 10.4 grams. Okay, now 10 for each. 1,000 means 10,000 padas. The gold comes only to 7,500 tolas or only 104 kgs. The gold, beside the 1,000 cows, the gold was 104 kilograms. So think of it. That was the price. And he declared, so whoever is the Brahmanishta can take away this. Nobody dared. It is not simply take away. He has to what else do? Yes, the person has to answer the rest of the Vidwans. Whatever they answer, question, they have to answer and prove that he is the topmost among them. No one dared. Finally, Yajnavalkya got up and asked his disciple to drive home the cows. Then he asked, the commotion started. So, how dare he can ask? He has to prove what? Brahmanishta. How dare he can ask? So, but still, there was no courage for anyone to start the interrogation. So, finally, Ashvala gets up because, he was the Hota of Janaka. So, therefore, he was acquainted with whom? Janaka Raja. So, he had little more courage to speak in the court of Janaka as such. He gets up, Ashvala gets up and asks Yajnavalkya, are you a Brahmanishta? So you have asked to take away the cows. Are you a Brahmanishta? Yajnavalkya says, Namo vayam Brahmanishtaya kurmaha. My salutations to whom? Brahmanishta. Gokamaha eva vayam sma. Presently I am desirous of what? Cows only. So it is a way of telling. Presently I am interested in the cows only. My salutations to whom? Brahmanishta. But that's how you can't drive away this thing. So then what starts? The argument starts. So one by one they start. There are totally 9 Brahmanas. Means 9 topics will be discussed by 8 persons. 8 Ashvala, etc. One by one get up and start questioning, and Yajnavalkya answers. 2 Brahmanas are attributed to the same Gargi. Gargi has got 2 Brahmanas. There are 2 topics. And twice she interrogates him, etc. And afterwards he says, after saying, he tells other people, no, better you don't enter into argument with him. Nobody can excel him. Leave him. He is the real person, she says. But still the argument continues as such. So therefore there are totally, there are 9 Brahmanas by 8 persons, 8 Vidwans. So let us now see. So, ASVALAYANA DIMUNIBODHA. So because it is not only Ashvala who had asked and who was taught, there are others, totally 8 persons are involved. Therefore all this teaching is now clubbed of this chapter in this. What is this? This chapter here, the 17th chapter of this Anubhuti Prakasha. Yajnavalkyoshvaladibhyo vijigishu kamukhat uktavan panchamedhyaye tattva vidyamanekadha. याज्ञवल्क्यः पंचमे अध्याये विजिगीषु कथा मुखात् विजिगीषु कथा मुखात् अश्वलादिभ्यः तत्त्वविद्याम् अनेकधा उक्तवान्. Then add tam vidyam vivrunomi. Tam vidyam vivrunomi. This is what Yajnavalkya taught to whom? Let us see now. Yajnavalkya. Panchame adhyaye. In the 5th chapter of Brihadaranyaka, not Upanishad. And 5th chapter of Brihadaranyaka corresponds to 3rd chapter of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Remember the distinction between Aranyaka and Upanishad. Brihadaranyaka, as Aranyaka has got totally 8 chapters, but the first 2 chapters are not counted as Upanishad. So 3rd chapters onwards is taken as Upanishad. So therefore here Panchame Adhyaya of Brihadaranyaka means 3rd chapter of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So in the 3rd chapter of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, so what did he do? Vijigishu Katha Mukha. Jigisha means Jetum Ichha Jagitsha. Jetum Ichha, that is the desire to conquer, desire to win over. Visheshena Jetum Ichha Vijigisha. So, totally to win over as such, to establish the supremacy. So, that is what Vijigishu. Katha, here narration or discussion. So, what is called as the discussion which was meant to win over the other. Purpose was because why? That is what Janaka announced. He wanted to know who is the Brahmanishta. It can be ascertained by mutual discussion and showing one supremacy over the other in terms of this knowledge. So therefore, Vijigishu Katha Mukhat. Mukhat means here Dwarena. Dwarena means through the means of Vijigishu Katha. See, in debate or arguments there are three varieties. Vada, Jalpa and Vitanda. Vada is the wherein the two parties argue to arrive at the truth. Both want to arrive at the truth. Therefore, mutual understanding is there in Vada. So that is what is called as Tattva Nirnaya Pradhana Katha Vadaha. A Katha means a discussion here, not story, a discussion. Tattva Nirnaya Pradhana. The main purpose of both the argumentators is to arrive at the truth. So therefore, there is a mutual harmony between them. That is what is called Vada. So Tattva Nirnaya Pradhana Katha Vadaha. Jalpa is each wants to dismiss the other and prove one's own stand. The two parties are there, two opponents are there. Each has got one's own stand and the one wants to vanquish the other to establish his stand as such. So that is Jaya Parajaya Pradhana Vijigishu Katha is Jalpa. So Jaya Parajaya Pradhana Vijigishu Katha. A discussion, a debate wherein each wants to prove to be right and other as wrong. So that is what is called Jaya Parajaya Pradhana Vijigishu Katha Jalpa. That's what Jalpa. Third is Vidanda. Vitanda. So Vitanda. In this Vitanda, the fellows don't have one's own stand. Only that they want to prove other to be wrong. So that is what, nothing to be established as one's own thing. Whatever the other person says, wants to prove as wrong as such. That is Pratipaksha Sthapana Hinaha Jalpaha Vitanda. It's another form of Jalpa only, but where Pratipaksha Sthapana Hinaha Jalpaha. A Jalpa wherein the person has no Pratipaksha, no one's own stand to be proved as such. All that he wants to do is what? To prove the other fellow to be wrong as such. That is the Vitanda. It happens once in Janaka's court. One great sage had come. He was a guru. What was his guru? Janaka's guru was? Huh? Where? No. That Ashtavakra different. This was another person. Anyway, first time he happened to come. And he had with great scholars in his in the Jivan Mukti Viveka who have come across them. So he had a royal scholar there in his Vidwan in his thing. So when this great person came, so he took a vow, whatever this person says, I will do it to be wrong. So this sage started asking, and whatever not, just only to prove. Then he thought this is not a healthy attitude. So he wanted to teach him a lesson. So he said, you are a man, is it not? What can he do now? He asked him, you are a man, is it not? Can you say, I am a donkey? He has to accept. You are born of your mother, is it not? What he has to do? He has to say, yes. Janaka was so happy. This fellow has to be taught like that only. Afterwards, he was his guru as such. He had learned from Ashtavakra also, Jadnevalki also as such. But actually, in fact, he was the guru who asked him not to take sannyasa. Otherwise, Janaka was eligible to take sannyasa. He was the one who said, no, you will rule the kingdom only. That is what he said. And therefore, Janaka didn't take sannyasa. Anyway. Like this. That is danda. So these are the three types of debates. So here mainly it is vada, except one case it was more or less vidanda and the fellow has to pay the price for that. Last brahmana is so. Now, Vijigishu Katha Mukhat, this through the means of Vijigishu Katha, such debate. So, what did he do in the third chapter? Ashvaladibhyaha, to Ashvala, etc. Totally 8 persons, but 9 brahmanas. So, what did he do? Tattva Vidyam, the nature of truth, Anekadha Uktavam. He taught in manifold ways. He taught him in the manifold ways. Anekadha Uktavan. So here it is not all doesn't pertain to Tattva Vidya. All doesn't pertain to Brahma. Few things are related to Upasanas also. How is it so? Because it depends on the question. The questions are asked, he has to answer. So there are few refer to Upasanas also. The remaining topics relate to Tattva Vidya, Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya. So same thing. Anekadha, in different manifold ways, differently. Uktavan, taught. Tam Vidyam Vivrunomi. So that knowledge, that teaching, I am going to now explain here in this particular 17th chapter called ASVALAYANA DIMUNIBODHA. So let us see what are these brahmanas and mainly what is the topic in that, so that we can have a bird's eye view of this particular chapter. So first brahmana is Ashvala Brahmana, and that is now explained in stanzas from 2 to 12. Stanzas 2nd to 12 deal with Ashvala Brahmana. The topic is the mukti from mrityu. Mukti here is freedom from mrityu. What mrityu? The mrityu in the form of time, parichinnata, limitation. This is not actual moksha. And that is told that this is not moksha, but freedom from the time as a form of bondage. And some rites also, rituals also are explained there, because that was asked and that is being replied. Second brahmana is Arthabhaga Brahmana. Here it is explained from stanza 13 to 50. So it was in the earlier brahmana it was said that mukti, the freedom from mrityu in terms of time, etc., has to be gained. What is the nature of that mrityu? So that is mrityu as death, etc., is now, that has been now explained in this. The second brahmana, Arthabhaga Brahmana. Third brahmana is Bhujyu Brahmana. More or less, in most of the brahmanas, the name is given after the person who has asked the question, but not all. In some, the topic also comes in terms of the name of the brahmana. So, Bhujyu Brahmana is explained here in this chapter, stanza 51 to 70. 51 to 70 is the Bhujyu Brahmana. So, it dispels the doubt that moksha can be attained by performance of good deeds, satkarma. In your book, the notes given are more or less correct. They are there as such, but only English names are used there. The Sanskrit names are not given. So that moksha can be attained by satkarma, good deeds. This is wrong. This doubt is dispelled in Bhujyu Brahmana. Fourth Brahmana is Ushasta Brahmana, explained here from stanza 71 to 132. So here comes the actual Adhyatma Vidya. The Atma Swarupa, the individual as the Chit Chaitanya Swarupa, free from Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva, etc. limitations, that is explained in Ushasta Brahmana, here 71 to 132. Fifth Brahmana is Kahola Brahmana. Kahola Brahmana explained from one stanza 133 to 187. This deals with the knowledge of Jiva Brahmaikya. So Jiva Brahma are identical. Jiva Brahmaikya knowledge is found in this, the Kahola Brahmana. Sixth Brahmana is Gargi Brahmana. So asked by Gargi, which the topic is the Brahma as the basis of everything. Brahma as the adhisthana of everything. That is sixth Brahmana, Gargi Brahmana, explained here from stanza 188 to 201. 188, 201. Seventh Brahmana is Antaryami Brahmana. This was questioned by a sage Uddalaka. It was asked by sage Uddalaka. Antaryami Brahmana. So that is the Brahma as the Antaryami, the one who abides in each and every being, and because of which everything functions in everyone's embodiment. So that is dealt here in stanzas 202 to 234. 202 to 234, Antaryami Brahmana, seventh Brahmana. Eighth Brahmana is Akshara Brahmana. Again questioned by Gargi. There are two Brahmanas are devoted to Gargi. Akshara Brahmana. So it explains the Akshara Brahma Swarupa. The Brahma Swarupa, Akshara Brahma is explained. So here it is explained from stanza 235 to 280. 235 to 280. And the last one is the Shakalya Brahmana. It is the unfortunate Brahmana because one casualty is there. So one casualty is going to take place there. So therefore, it's the Shakalya Brahmana. There was an audacious person called Vidagdha Shakalya. And the Shakalya Brahmana is explained from stanza 281 to 298. 281 to 298 is Shakalya Brahmana asked by Vidagdha Shakalya. So his questions were audacious. Yajnavalkya cautioned him, gave a forewarning, and if you behave like this, you will lose your life. He said, your head will split into pieces. In spite of that, this person what? Persisted. Yajnavalkya asked the question. He said, if you are not, look, don't proceed further. If you are not able to answer, this will happen. In spite of that, what happened? He asked, he could not answer the questions put by who? Yajnavalkya lost his life. In fact, this is not here only. Yajnavalkya, because his nature was so, Yajnavalkya had given him a curse somewhere else many years back at some other place where he had done the same thing. He said, because of this behavior, you will die at a place which is not a holy place, etc. And this body will not, the dead body will not reach home. Your asthis will not be available for any performance of the rite that he had given. With that, he should have taken a little warning as such. It happens because prarabdha karma at times can work like, medicines, no. If expiry date is over, no, it is what? Nullified. Potency is gone. So such people who had the bad prarabdha, if they take precaution in terms of good things, etc., the curse, etc., can be in abeyance. By that time, they should see that they get out of it. So what happens? It cannot harm that much. Same thing other way also. Suppose one who has got a good prarabdha should ensure that bad things are not taken to. If bad things are taken to, what happens? Whatever the good that is legibly is eligible to that. So what happens? He is not able to get. Little he gets. That is what is that. You must be knowing that story, is it not? And that it is quoted. Two friends are going. One was highly pious, devoted person, religious person. Other was an atheist. He was not at all believing in God, etc. But this earlier person was such a devoted person. Whenever in a temple, etc., there he will do namaskar, he will pray, etc. So they are olden days, they are walking, they are going somewhere, together they had to go, travel a long distance. So one Ganesh temple was there, so he did travel. This fellow said, what Ganesha, this, that, etc. So after some time on the way, the other fellow got a golden coin. He said, I got a golden coin. What did you get? This fellow was a little hurt as such. But to add to it, after going some length, he stepped over a very big thorn and got his foot so injured it was difficult for him to walk. So other fellow was ready. Dekha? So you are so devoted, what did you get? This is what you get. And say, I got a golden coin. He is useless, bitch god and all devotion, they are foolish fellows. But this fellow was also little shaken. I did such thing, good thing, and I got it. And this fellow got a golden coin. So particular. So while going there, etc., an old elderly person was passing by. He saw what is there, etc. This he just consoled because foot was very badly injured because it has gone so deep, and even after removal, he was not in a position to walk, etc. He thought of this thing, and so then this fellow, who the earlier, seeing him to be a knowledgeable person, he said, see, what is this? So I am such devoted person, and I am suffering like this, and this fellow got a golden coin. That person knew few things. There are some people, based on the time when you ask the question, they can foretell something. There are like see the horoscope, etc. They said they pick up the time when you ask the thing and they get. So and from features, etc., he told, look, you had a very, very bad prarabdha, and at this moment you have to die of a snake bite. But because of your devotion, etc., what happened? It got averted only through a trick of a thought. And this fellow, because you could see the features of it, this fellow had such a very good punya, he was eligible for a big pot of golden coins. Not one golden big pot of golden coins, that much punya he deserved because of his atheism, etc. So account was settled for one golden coin. Means good can get retarded because of the bad thing, bad can get accelerated also because of the bad thing, bad also can get retarded if the good things are done. So why? Karma phalas are there, but what happens? Some other influence also is there on that. So now this person, he had a curse, who none other than the same Yajnavalkya. Again here Yajnavalkya cautioned him. Not like that, no, suddenly bombarding or suddenly, no, World Trade Centers without any notice. This thing, no, nothing like that. Demolishing like that, nothing like that. He cautioned him, don't enter, this will be the plight. In spite of that, means it is a disregard for a Brahmanishta. This is not a healthy attitude that needs to be punished. So, that is what is the fate of the Shakalya at the end of this Brahmana. But Vidyaranya Muni is not mentioning anything about it, that he lost his life, etc. Why? Because it was obvious. He has already told that what Yajnavalkya has cautioned him. If you are not able to, don't ask, probe further. If you are not able to answer my questions, this will happen, etc. In spite of that, what happened? He probed Yajnavalkya asked the question, he could not answer, means Yajnavalkya's words are not going to be false as such. That is not because Vidyaranya doesn't want to waste one or two stanzas for that purpose, which is obvious as such. So therefore, he doesn't say. So with the 281 to 298, the Shakalya Brahmana is explained. The remaining stanzas, that is 299 to 309, the teaching continues there. How it, after Shakalya, there was none who dared to question better don't into arguments, etc. Still, there is some few people do that, and the Shakalya asks, etc. And after that means there is no one to question who? Yajnavalkya. So who is Brahmanishta now? But not totally, you can't prove that. You know how? One can say, now keep aside who? Vidagdha Shakalya, because he could not answer the question put was there. Others will say, we already knew what we say. You have answered what we have asked. We knew, we have got the knowledge of that, but we wanted to test you. Means at best, Yajnavalkya is at par with all these fellows put together. That is not the establishment of his supremacy. What he has to say, prove now. He knows more than these people. His knowledge is more than these people. These people don't know what he knows. So therefore he says, now it is my turn to ask you people the question. And he asks the questions and finds out nobody could give the answer. Then he gives the answers. So therefore what is, he proved that he is a Brahmanishta. It was justified on his part to drive home the 1,000 cows. So why did he say that? Because he was confident. He was sure about it. Not just like that. Because he was sure about it, and therefore he asked that. So that is what is the sum and substance of this chapter, which is 17th chapter, ASVALAYANA DIMUNIBODHA. And of course the last one, I think 310, is the concluding this. Yes, 310 stanza is the concluding stanza by Vidyaranya Muni of this particular chapter, 17th chapter. I think this is the biggest chapter. No, next is how much? That next also is the big one. No, next is big, still bigger. Janaka Vidya Prakasha is 324. This is 310. Next one is 324. It can take years together now, okay? These chapters will take years. Anyway, we'll start. Now, the Ashvala Brahmana from stanza 2 to 12. Adhyatmamadibhutam cha yajamanartvigadishu Swabhavika parichedo mrutyurmartya falarjanat Yajamana ritvigadishu. Yajamana ritvik becomes by sandhi Yajamana ritviga. That ru becomes ar. Yajamana ritvigadishu adhyatmam adhibhutam cha swabhavikaha parichedaha mrityuh martya falarjana. Mrityuh martya falarjana. Now here, from in these 5 stanzas, second stanza to 6 stanzas, there is the answer clubbed to 4 questions. 4 questions asked by Appa. He is asking further questions also, but here The answer to 4 questions are clubbed here. Now, wherever, and it is about Upasana. And wherever the topic is about Upasana, Vidyaranya Muni in his Anubhuti Prakasha is very brief. And as far as we are concerned, the topic is more or less of academic interest only as such, so it has no other relevance as such. And Vidyaranya Muni goes fast also because he doesn't give much, he even doesn't give the questions properly. He doesn't give the questions because it can be understood from the what is topic is their answer, you can know this is the question that was asked as such. So at places he may hint, but many places he doesn't bother about the questions, straight away the answers he gives. Now here, some upasana is given to overcome, the upasana not even given, the question was about some upasanas to overcome the limitations, parichinatas one gets subjected to. So that is the topic. Now Yajamana, we have seen the Anvaya. Yajamana Ritvikadishu Adhatmam Adibhutam Cha Swabhavikaha Parichedaha Mrityuhu. So before arriving at, so what was asked, and it is related to Mrityu. What is Mrityu? Why it is called Mrityu? These 2 things are told in this stanza. So first is, what is Mrityu? So one way of looking at Mrityu is this way. Mrityu can be looked at from different standpoints. One way of looking at Mrityu is this way. How is it? Say, Swabhavikaha Parichedaha. Swabhavika Paricheda means the natural limitation. Paricheda is Parichinnatvam. Swabhavikaha Parichedaha Parichinnatvam. The natural, that is the limitation, so that is the Mrityu. Related to whom? About this person. Yajamana Ritvikadishu. In the Yajamana, the one who performs the karma, for whose sake it is being done. Maybe it is performed by the priest, but who is the one to gain the result? Yajamana, the master of the particular sacrifice or ritual. And Ritvigadishu, Ritvik, the priest, Hota, etc. means different types of priests that are there. So Adishu, Adhyatmam Adibhutam Cha Swabhavikaha Paricheda. The natural limitations at these levels. What levels? Adhyatmam. Adhyatmam, the limitation at one's own embodiment level of Yajamana and Ritvik. Again, Adibhutam, the limitations at the surrounding level of these Yajamana and Ritvik. Those Swabhavikaha Parichedaha. This is the meaning of the word Mrityu in the Shruti. So here, let us not bother about the Shruti phrases where Upasana is concerned. So therefore he says, Swabhavika Parichedaha Mrityuhu. This is what is called Mrityu. The natural, the general limitation at the limitation pertaining to Yajamana and Ritviks at both Adhyatma and Adhibhuta level is called Mrityu. Why is it called Mrityu? Explanation is given. The reason is given why they are called Mrityu. Martya Phalarjanad Mrityuhu. The reason why it is called Mrityu is Martya Phalarjanad. Martya means Nashvara Phala. Nashvara means transitory. Martya Phalarjanad, Nashvara Phala Samadana. Because that is so that is what one gains from through all these is only limited result, and therefore limited means what? Limited is bound to perish. So therefore destructible result, and therefore it is called as Mrityu. There in the Shruti it said, Yadidam sarvam mrityuna aptam. All this is pervaded by Mrityu, the limitation. That what is that? All these Vak, Chakshu, Prana, Mana, etc. Organ of speech, eyes, pranas, mind, etc. All this is pervaded or is subjected to the Mrityu. That is what is there. So there, what is being done is, some upasanas are being given. What is that? The organ of speech of the sacrificer, the one who is the yajamana, and the organ of speech of hota, Rigvedic priest, is to be looked upon as fire. In upasana, what that? A lower thing is considered as higher principle. The organ of speech of the yajamana and hota is to be meditated upon as what? As the Agni. By that, the general that is, limitations can be overcome. At the same time, it will be told, this is not moksha. So like that, few upasanas are given to overcome this mrityu, because that was what was asked by Ashvala Muni. Again, now, kala, time as twofold mrityu. So earlier what was swabhavika mrityu. Time as twofold mrityu will be described here in the stanza 3. Kalopi mrityu kartradi maranat syat sacha dvidha. Kalopi mrityu kartradi maranat syat sacha dvidha. Saurohoratra rupena chandra pakshadirupatāh. Kartrādi māranāt kālaha api mrityuh syāt. Kartrādi māranāt kālaha api mrityuh syāt. Comma, sacha dvidha bhavati, to add that. Swacha dvidha bhavati. Ahoratra rupena sauraha, add kalaha. Ahoratra rupena sauraha kalaha. Pakshadi rupataha chandraha, add kalaha. The kala, time is considered as mrityu. Why so? The reason is kartradi marana. Marana, because it destroys. Time destroys. Whom? Karta adi. Who is this karta? Yajamana. So everyone is subject to death. Time in terms of time. So therefore, kartradi. Adi for ritviks. So that is, and not only ritviks, everything in the creation. So kartradi marana, because it destroys. They say no, kalo jagat bhakshakaha. He is the devourer of entire jagat. But there is also a bhakshaka of kala. Who is the devourer of kala? Brahma. It gets destroyed in Brahma. So that's how. So kartradi maranat kalaha api mrityuh syat. So time also is what? Considered as mrityu. And that time is twofold. Sahacha. Sahacha kalaha. Saha for kala is dvidha. It is twofold. Bhavati dvidha bhavati. It is twofold. What is that? Two ways. One is ahoratra rupena sauraha kalaha. Sauraha kala. Saura is solar. Solar time. How? In terms of ahoratra. Ahaha is day. Ratri, Ratra is night. In terms of day and night, the solar time. There are solar calendars also, lunar calendars. Different people follow different calendars as well. So here, in terms of day and night, which are affected by who? Sun. So therefore, Sauraha Kalaha. Other one is affected by moon. Pakshadi Rupataha Chandraha Kalaha. Chandraha. Lunar. The lunar time is in terms of Pakshadi Rupataha. Pakshadi Rupataha is Paksha is fortnight. So Pakshadi. Now Adi means Krishna Paksha, Shukla Paksha. So like that. So Pakshadi Rupataha. See. Pakshas are based on the movement of who? Moon, not the sun. Day and night are based on the movement of, is it sun? Earth in relation to sun, but for Vyavahara we may say what? Sun, because of the sun. But actually it is earth in relation to the sun. Here also earth is there, but mainly in relation to whom? The moon. So therefore it is so. In either case the earth does revolve, but here based on these two. So this is so lunar in terms of this, the time as mrityu function. Now what is mrityu was explained. The question is how this form of mrityu, what form of mrityu it is? Either swabhavika paricheda or saura or kala or chandra kala. How it can be overcome? So how it can be overcome? So for this 4 questions have been asked, and for which one is the only one answer is being given by who? Questions are 4, but answer is one given by Yajnavalkya. Let us first question introduced. This was what was asked in general. Jetum mrityutrayam brahma lokam praptum cha sadhanam. प्रश्नैश्चतुर्भिः पप्रच्छ देवध्यानं तदुत्तरम्. चतुर्भिः प्रश्नैः मृत्युत्रयं जेतुं. चतुर्भिः प्रश्नैः मृत्युत्रयं जेतुं ब्रह्मलोकं प्राप्तुं च साधनं पप्रच्छ. साधनं, if you want, आश्वलः पप्रच्छ. साधनं आश्वलः पप्रच्छ. तदुत्तरं देवध्यानं. तदुत्तरं देवध्यानं. So this is the gist of 4 questions. Chaturbhi prashnaihi, by 4 questions. They are not mentioned, they are not necessary. By 4 questions. So Ashvala asked. See, at times it also is there. 4 questions. What can you do? You can flabbergast the other person. 4 questions. Only answer is only one. But that also maybe or may not be the intention, but that is okay. So Chaturbhi prashnaihi, what was asked? These 2 things were asked. Mrityutrayam jetum, to vanquish or conquer the mrityutraya. 3 types of mrityus. What are those? Swabhavika mrityu, defined in stanza 2, and the saura kala, chandra kala as mrityu, described in stanza 3. So therefore, see, so mrityutrayam, swabhavika and the dvidha kala. So that is what these 3 mrityus to overcome. That is one purpose. Other is brahmalokam praptum cha sadhanam. The means to sadhana, the means to overcome the 3 types of mrityus and to gain the brahmaloka. So these sadhanas, what was done? So who? Ashvala by Chaturbhi prashnaihi papracha. He asked by 4 questions. Yajnavalkya was a past master in this. He is not a person to get confused. He straight away said answer is only one. What is it? Taduttaram. Answer to these 4 questions in terms of what the sadhana is Devadhyanam. Devadhyanam is Upasana of Devatas. Devadhyana is Upasana of Devatas. So you have to take 2 Upasana of Devata to overcome these 3 mrityus and in the Brahma Loka. So what are those Upasana? Let us see. Yajamanasya vagadir hotradeschadhidaivike. Ajnadaveekatam dhyatva muchyate chati muchyate. Here also, the author is brief here. Yajamanasya, add adhyatmam, vagadehe, vagadehe, hotradecha, adhidaivike, adhidaivike, agnyadau, एकताम ध्यात्वा मुच्यते अति मुच्यते च, मुच्यते अति मुच्यते च. So these are the upasanas. What are those? Yajamanasya adhyatmam. In the case of Yajamana, his adhyatma, adhyatma means what? Related to his body, in the related to body of Yajamana. What are those? Vagadehi, Vag, organ of speech, then Adi for Chakshu and Prana. Chakshu and Prana. So there are three. One related, the Upasana related to Vag with different devatas. Upasana related to Chakshu with another devata, Upasana related to Prana with the third devata. Like this, three loci and three devatas will be there, are there as such, though here they are not described here. So, Yajamanasya Vagade, Adi takes for Chakshu and Prana. We'll see that what is what. Then, Hotradeshcha. In the case of Hotradi, Hota, the priest pertaining to Rigveda. Adi for Adhvaryu. Adhvaryu, a priest related to Yajurveda. Third one is Udgata, the priest related to Samaveda. So therefore, Hota, Adhvaryu, Udgata. Cha. Now, in this, so now Upasana with respect to what devatas? Adhidaivike, at the presiding deity level, phenomenal level, who are they? Agnyadau, Agnyadi, Agni, Adi for Aditya and Chandramaha, Aditya and Chandramaha. What is to be done? Ekatam dhyatva, having taken to the meditation of ekata, identity. So it is like this. See, Yajamana and who are there? Ritviks. Who are those Ritviks? Hota, Adhvaryu, Udgata. Okay. And what are devatas? Agni, Aditya, Chandrama. Now the upasanas are like this. What should be done? So, and again, how many types of mrityus are there? Three types of mrityu. When the person wants to get freed from swabhavika mrityu, number one now. So in notes it is given properly as such. But just listen, because they are the English words are there, it will be confusing. To overcome the swabhavika parichinnata, one has to take to upasana of aikya, oneness, of Vak, organ of speech of Yajamana and Hota with Agni. Means it is like this. Meditation should be look upon the speech, organ of speech means organ of speech of who Yajamana and Hota as what? Agni Devata. Repeatedly considering in terms of looking upon in terms of meditation, the Vak, organ of speech of who? Hota and the Yajamana and Hota as what? Agni. This upasana gives the result of freedom from Svabhavika Mrityu. One upasana is over. Second upasana is the freedom for freedom from Saurakala in terms of Ahoratra Rupa. The Saura, second one. For this, what is to be done? The look upon the Chakshu, the eye of Yajamana and Adhvaryu. Hota is gone now. Look upon the eyes of Yajamana and Hota as what? Aditya Daivata. This is the second type of upasana, the meditation. Not simply that, oh, this is what this, it is Buddha. No, one has to continuously take to the dhyana accordingly. This is what the second, that is looking upon the Chaf Yajamana and Advaryu as Aditya Devata is the second type of upasana, gives freedom from the Mrityu, what kala? Saura, Ahoratra Rupa kala. The third one is to get freed from the the Chandra, that is the Chandra, this kala in terms of Paksha Rupa. So there what is to be done? Look upon the prana of Yajamana and Udgata as what? Chandramaha Devata. Chandramaha Devata. So by that upasana, what can be done? One can get freed from the Mrityu in terms of kala. What kala? Chandra, Paksha, Adi Rupa, kala. So these are the three which are clubbed here like this. So in the Adhyatma level, these Adhidaivata, the deities to be looked upon and meditated upon. So Ekatam means identity. What identity? What identity? These are the devatas. That I, that's Vak, etc. are the devata. Dhyatva, having done upasana, meditate means having done sufficient upasana. Muchyate, one gets mukti. Now here this mukti is not moksha, not the antima moksha. What is mukti and what is ati mukti will be explained in the next stanza. Muchyate and ati muchyate cha. Ati muchyate means gets ati mukti. The two types of mukti is freedom. One is mukti, one type of freedom. Other is ati mukti, other type of freedom. These one gets on account of this upasana. What is mukti? What is ati mukti will be explained in stanza 6. We'll see. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तु न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ॐ